On a cool October evening down in Ramsey's hunting shed, I met up with a goon who'd seen a lot of men hung dead. We were both too drunk to drive home, passing mason jar around, when the fire burned down low and he laid his cards down on the ground. He said, "Son, I've made my life out of watching knickers swinging, knowing which ones that scream loud by the way they held their chins. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of favors. For a taste of that moonshine, I'll tell you how this county's always been." So I handed him the jar, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the fire got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play in Goon County, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You gotta know when to hold 'em, when to hold a knicker tight, know when to fold 'em, know when to run, know when to walk away. Well, Ramsey's got his sights on you, and know when to run. When two strokes engine's fired, you never count your knickers when you're sitting at the still. There'll be time enough for counting when the hanging's done. When the hanging's done." Now every goon in Goon County knows the secret to surviving is knowing who to throw away and knowing who to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die before you swing too deep. I asked him about Blaine, the fool who messed with Ramsey's PC. He just smiled and pointed to the wind chimes in the tree. I asked him about Tavon, who ran and tried to hide. He said, "Son, in Goon County there ain't nowhere to run. You just hang and swing with pride. You gotta know when to hold 'em, when to hold your tongue and wait, know when to fold, know when to cut your know when to walk away. Well, and Wizard Lee starts preaching fire, and know when to run. When Hayden's got that wire, you never count your knickers when you're sitting at the still. There'll be time enough for counting when the hanging's done. When the hanging's done." You see that ridge line yonder behind them loblolly pines? That's where they hung Jeff and PJ after they crossed the county line. Ramsey strung them up himself with wire from his truck, and now when the north wind blows through, they sing about their luck, or lack thereof. And when he finished speaking, he turned back toward the fire, crushed out his cigarette and faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, that old goon, he broke even. But in his final words, I found a truth that I could keep. You gotta know when to hold 'em, when to hold your nerve and stand, know when to fold, know when to leave the land, when to walk away, when the clan's got you in their side, and know when to run, and run damn fast and far all night. You never count your knickers when you're sitting at the still. There'll be time enough for counting when the hanging's done. When the hanging's done.